Welcome to the Christian and Daniel Show.
It's about to get real, well, you know the deal. You won't have to guess how either of them feel. Bringing up the things you don't think to know. Never knowing where the conversation will go. Just a little more than anything goes. It's a Christian and Daniel Show.
Hello, everyone. I am Christian.
And I'm Daniel.
And this is the Christian
And Daniel Show.
Hey,
We got that right.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, this week we actually got it right.
Yes.
This is what show? Where am I? What am I doing here? When that happens, you need to send someone to collect us and put us in our home.
How's everybody doing? We want to welcome everybody who is watching us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Thank you for watching. Please share the show on your page. For all of you watching us on YouTube, do us a favor, scroll down, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I'll let you know whenever there's a new show. And we're back in full for 2022 with all our 3 shows. So make sure that you check us out and make sure you subscribe.
And for some reason, I'm slurping my tea tonight. I don't know why I'm slurping my tea. Hello, Rod.
Hey, Ross.
From Regina.
Regina in the house. And hello, Karen.
Regina.
Karen just had a birthday.
Hi, Karen. Happy birthday. Yes, I sent her a little happy birthday message.
Did y'all notice, for those of you that were watching, did you notice the new updated
intro with
video?
updated graphics and updated fonts?
Yes, it looks all pretty. So if you
It
didn't
looks like it should have in 21.
you know what? If somebody would do it,
Well, I don't have the software. I ain't got no knowledge.
isn't it always the people that don't do the work that are the bossiest?
Absolutely.
But we've updated right here the little squares. We've updated the squares, the fonts. We've updated the videos, the exit videos. So if your name is Kai
Kalama,
or Gabe
Ledo,
or Checo,
Doria.
make sure you stay and watch the ending credits because you might see your name there at the end. So check those out.
Yes,
And
thank you. We need to put him on.
you need to put him on. He's anxious back there. And our first guest of 2022.
Wasn't he our first guest, like, ever?
I think
Like, on the show?
he was our
Way back
first
in what,
guest
19?
ever. Yes, if I'm correct.
Wow.
And he's also has the title of being the only co-host replacement because you were sick.
Oh, I was really,
Yeah.
gosh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, those are such different times, man.
So for those of you that know him as a pain in my butt, Mr. Gabe Ledo.
Hello there.
He is our itinerant world traveling stage manager.
Stage manager. How you doing, sir?
I am fantastic. How are you doing?
We are doing well. I like the T-shirt. I love Star Wars.
That's not Star Wars.
That's not Star Wars. I thought that
No,
was
it's a French.
Oh,
It's a French guy.
that is so
No.
cute.
I got it at Burlington Coat Factory for $12, and it's like normally $85. So
Wow. So you got a collector's item for $12. I love
Yeah,
it.
I guess.
we don't work for Burlington, but Burlington, if you're watching, you want to send us stuff.
Yeah, we'll take whatever you want to send.
Well, welcome back to the show. It's episode 66, our second episode of the year. And yes, you missed it by 3, but story of his life. But
Oh, it's going to be one of those nights. I could already tell.
yeah, I'm here. Duh.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate it. Daniel and Gabe do have a very unique relationship.
well, we've known each other since 2017,
Mm-hmm.
2018,
Something like that.
something like that.
Forever.
Been waiting for a while. So there was an argument with Gabe not liking the photo that I posted on the announcement.
Oh, it's
But
horrible.
that's the picture. That's the picture that we took together. If the picture's cropped, so and the other side of the picture is me. There's me in there.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, and I look terrible.
Yeah, like look at the man on the screen right
something's-
now. It's like 100% different.
Some things
guy.
don't change. So
I was fatter, and I had no man makeup.
Yeah, no man makeup. He was chunkier then. He was chunkier then. And also, you weren't really as happy as you are now.
No.
Let's be honest. I mean, I don't mean that in any negative or dig way to anyone. I just mean in general. It's just you can tell by people's appearance and how they and their energy, and that energy shows up in pictures. Like when I was telling Gabe, and when I was at my top weight, and I was almost as tall as Daniel is, I was wide. I had waist 65 pants, and he's 5'5". That I was miserable. Like you don't see a picture of me like glowing and happy. Like there's not life flowing out of my eyes. They're dark. I look unhappy. Even if I was smiling, people would say, "You don't look happy." And I couldn't be. My body was nothing but pain, and everyone stared at me, and things broke under me. It was bad.
Wow.
So I understand that when you make those changes, you don't want those old pictures. You want to see you now. Even if it's a crappy now, it's better than the best one from the past.
And I sent him 2 gorgeous pictures of me. He didn't change it.
They were good pictures too.
He doesn't work for me, he said.
He doesn't. He doesn't even work for me. He actually technically he's my partner in business and that, but he still doesn't listen to me.
We're gonna have to get you to take some good headshot, not with the Buffy jacket or like a nice little, like that background that you have right there is nice. All you need is just the camera.
Just so you know, every headshot of me is a good headshot, except for the one that you picked.
Ah.
Here, hold on. I got to turn this heater down because I can't hear you. Hold on.
It's hot in there. It's getting hot in here.
Yeah, it's right behind me, so I had to switch back to the camera audio. So anyway, now I can hear you better.
You guys aren't too far from each other, so.
Oh. Keyboard.
Sorry, I was trying to read. I can't read because my camera's right in front of the comments because they're on the left side, so I can't read them.
Oh, okay, gotcha. We'll read them for you since you can't read.
They won't be as funny as mine anyway, so it's not like I'm missing anything.
Yes, right? We're gonna miss you in the comments. But before we continue, for those of you who are into comedy and remember the '90s, Bob Saget passed away. So obviously,
I never liked Full House. I didn't like Fuller House, and I can't stand Bob Saget's humor and comedy.
Okay, so for those,
I was not crying over that.
As I said, for those of you that liked him,
yeah, I don't think I laughed once at anything that man's ever said, and that's
really,
yeah,
that's surprising. Knowing your sense of humor, that's pretty surprising.
Yeah, I know. I agree, and other people have said that to me. I go, well, maybe it's because the humor is too similar that I just don't get. Like they say, when two people are too alike, they don't really like each other in the end. Because I can't stand her, and it's like you're exactly like her.
Is that why neither one of you guys commented on the set I sent you?
Oh
no,
that was almost rehearsed sounding. Oh,
we're in entertainment for that gratification, and you gave me none.
I
didn't know you were looking for validation. I thought you were a pretty confident man. You're so confident all the time. I appreciate.
I mean, even a ha ha ha, anything.
Oh, okay. Well, we have had those times in Daniel's early stand-up. There, probably one of his very first time standing up. He would have been seeking ha-has.
Yeah, I mean,
it was an interesting set. And it was written on a card. And he actually was reading what he was doing.
I was not reading cards. There is no card. Okay, let me just, before we do that. Christian keeps arguing that in my very first set, I had cards in my hand. I did not have cards in my hand. There is a video that shows that. And in fact, we will show it next week. No video. I don't have it ready.
I'd rather show one of your more recent ones.
But there is I've never showed up with cards in my hand. But
both of us totally understand, and through Daniel's experience and watching him go through, comedy school and everything, and working from that very first show to where he's at today, it is like I understand. Stand-up comedy is not just something. Just because your friend is funny And people always say to people who are funny, "Oh, you should be a stand-up comedian." It is not the same thing.
Nope.
Because my friends know my history. We have a shared history. So I could say anything and they'll be laughing because they'll get it. But strangers will be like, just looking at you. And I hate that look. I hate when they just look at you.
Well, and just so you know, Daniel, we go up with cards and notes all the time. You're working out new material. You're gonna have you don't have it all memorized. I've got 8 minutes that I have down pat, but then I've got new stuff that I'm constantly writing. So you're constantly doing stuff, and I've only been doing it for about 7-8 months. I did it. I did it nice. I did 3 sets in Iceland, including one that was in an apartment for other comedians. I did,
Oh, that's high pressure.
So I've done international open mics now, so I'm a badass now.
Yeah,
No,
you did it for other comics. Talk about a hard room.
Yeah, but they laughed. They were great. Iceland's a great crowd.
Absolutely, you are funny. You are funny, Gabe. Don't get me wrong. You are funny. I just really honestly even think I go, oh, he doesn't need validation. He knows how good he is. That's why he sent the videos. He's like, look how awesome I am. Hello.
I just like giving you guys crap because you didn't say anything. But I was like, here, I send this hilarious material, and I got nothing in return.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. There's a batch of text.
It's on your Facebook Messenger.
Oh, that's why. Okay, I'll go back and look at it.
Yeah,
I'll go
back and check it out.
I saw it.
I had to speed a lot of it up because it was I've only been to that mic once, and they because I'm new to their mic, they only gave me 3 minutes, so I did 11. I did 11 jokes in that 3 minutes, and normally those same 11 jokes would hit 5. So then when I got back down here and I went to my mic at my club, then my rhythm was off, my timing was off because I was so sped up.
Yeah.
And I look and I'm like, I didn't see the light yet, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm on a material. Now I'm trying to think of something old.
I've
been there.
I have seen him on stage writhing inside because he went too fast.
I wanted to finish my thought because I was a fan of that Bob Saget, and he was loved. I went through Twitter to look at all his, and the man was loved, and all the behind the scenes stories. Even some of my friends that I know from the comedy world were commenting on having met him in a green room, and he being very open and talking and sharing and commenting to people. And he was what I really liked about him was that he does what I do, like a Monday check-ins. People say he would check on me all the time, and he would check on us to see how we're doing, and he would check on us. So I thought, oh wow, if my career can be half of what his career was, like that would be awesome. So for those of you who did like Bob Saget, rest in peace.
No, I mean he died young, like 65 is by today's standards. 65 is not an old age to die. Like I thought that was horrible. Like and apparently I saw something on TikTok because that's where I live. That he did a LGBTQ plus message. Like in some interview or something, he gave this message about just being yourself and being authentic to who you truly are. And honestly, that was like, I'm like, if I had seen that years ago, it probably would have changed my view of him. Because I had heard a lot of negative things and seen a few times that were caught, some of the negative behaviors and things, and it just kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
He's probably on cocaine when that happened, though, because he's rumored to be a really, really sweet man to off stage.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on from that.
Anyway.
But yes, comedy in itself can be. I saw Debbie.
We didn't put it up there.
I did. I waved to Debbie. Didn't I wave to Debbie?
We waved, but I didn't see it up there.
Hi, Debbie.
And sounds good. Really love to the whole. Yeah. And
he was very vulgar.
Yeah, I posted this. You're not watching, but I did post that. He was, yes, and his comedy is raunchy. It's not for the faint of heart.
I'm so focused on.
Neither is mine.
You're so focused on Gabe's beard that you've lost.
Yeah, that I've lost focus.
That's what it is. it reminds me of when Peter Griffith grew a beard and had birds living in it. So.
Man, every compliment is just shade. It's like telling compliments in the shade.
It's all said with love.
You know that we're many, many states apart, Daniel. He can't reach me. Okay. You're safe. You're safe. It's a safe space for you. It's okay.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. That is Daniel's sister.
But so going back, yes. Well, I had a couple of notes here. I don't know where I'm going to go.
40s. I think that's a great place.
Yeah. Sorry, still at work. Cannabis doesn't deliver itself. Oh, is that what you're doing now? Well, hello, Michael.
Especially if you're smoking it.
Yeah. He's still waiting at a stop sign, waiting for it to change colors.
Waiting for the stop sign to turn green.
He's driving 7 miles an hour.
I'm going to deliver this, dude.
Good thing they don't have the it's free, but it's over 30 minutes because they never do it. Yeah, over 40. Like we're just talking, like he's the age that we were when we met. So dating in your 40s versus like dating in the 30s, dating in your 20s.
Oh, well, 20s. It's not even dating. It's Netflix and chill.
But what I mean, we didn't have Netflix when we were in our 20s.
Oh, well, of course. So we
had
went
the
to
internet.
Netflix and chill. We would just say, let's go, we basically go to the bar, meet, well, this is my experience as a gay man. Go to the bar, say, hey, are you the one from this? Yes, let's get out of here. There wasn't any platitudes or pretending like there's anything other than what we want to do in that exact moment.
So I was just like, that's what I do. That's the way
You didn't even have the internet.
No, we didn't. I mean, yeah, the internet was in its infancy, so people didn't have access to it.
You probably barely had phone lines, if that even.
Yeah,
Because
up in Sacramento.
At my age, we had the phone lines first.
Yeah.
Which were pointless because every girl lied about what she looked like, kind of like now. But yeah, every
I
girl.
don't get that. I'm always like, the person's going to see you, right? Like, even no matter how much you lie, I'm not going to.
I met him at the Mall of America, and there was this back when it was Camp Snoopy. There was this big bowl of water where Snoopy was, and then right above that, up on the second tier, there was one of those quarter-operated binocular things.
Oh yeah.
And so I tell them to meet me by the bowl and tell them to wear, we'd wear, and then I go up there and look, and if I find out they lied to me, I never met them.
If they look like they should be drinking out of the bowl. See, and that's how cruel I would be. Ooh, you look like you need that water in the bowl, so I'm not nope.
I had dates where it was dinner, like it wasn't a hookup.
It was with an older man, right?
It was. I didn't have dinner with older men. I dated people my. Okay, well, I didn't. Yeah.
Exactly. Please, like I didn't live the life myself.
I did date some guys my age, but I didn't start dating guys my age till I was in.
You're 30.
Shut up.
Such a unique experience.
My first partner, I was 20 and he was 23. I was 22. So we were about the same age. I think that's what discouraged me from dating people my age. And then I started dating older. I dated a couple of younger guys for a while, and that was just not going anywhere. I was dumb because I should have been charging. My last two partners.
I would be filthy rich if I'd been charging all this time.
My last two partners were older, way older, before you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people, I remember people in the day would go, "You're such a whore," and I'm like, and I'd be like, "Yeah, ah." No, if I were a whore, I'd be rich right now. I was dumb, and I was just a slut.
My wife drove around the block on her first date because she couldn't remember what I looked like the night we met. Ooh, memorable cougar. Yeah, I wasn't a cougar because I wasn't old enough to be a cougar, and I didn't have the money to be a cougar. But I think I was like 25, and I was dating like this 19-year-old, and that for me was like too much.
I couldn't go backwards. I knew that. I cannot stand going backwards. You go backwards too far, and it just gets annoying.
Yeah, but if you and Daniel ever
shared background,
Daniel ever break up, you have no chance of going forward. COVID took care of that. You're so old.
I know. People in the 70s and 80-year-olds are gone. I can't even get a sugar daddy now. All the young ones got the sugar daddies, had them die of COVID, and now they're rich.
Yep.
So all the folks watching, do you have a preference when you dated?
You know,
Older, younger?
speaking of someone who took advantage of their age and their looks, and thankfully he's gotten clean, is that dude who was Tiger King's husband?
Oh, yeah.
We watched that Tiger King
the last husband.
season 2, and that dude, I'm like, he cleaned up, he got his teeth put in, so he wasn't
the guy who was straight at the beginning.
Yeah, who was so straight.
Not the one you married last.
No, it was the one that had all the tattoos.
The first
with
one,
no teeth because he was a meth head.
The second one he dated.
Yeah.
He's
Like,
a good-looking guy.
I saw that, and now with all the work he's had done, now he looks attractive. And now, of course, he has this young guy attaching to him, and of course, he didn't have any problem with the money that he's gotten from being a husband of the Tiger King. Because all the interviews, he charges all the outrageous fees for. He's done quite well.
There's an interview. There's an interview where he talks that during the filming of the Tiger King, he was going through getting his teeth fixed, so they caught him in between extracting teeth and getting his.
But he was a meth head.
But he was a meth head.
I mean, so that destroys your teeth
that
on
also,
its own.
There's that too.
I mean, basically, in the first season, he looked like a meth head redneck, and then now he looks like someone who lives in a brownstone in New York City. It's like really scary how different he looks.
I like Crystal. Crystal's like dating blah. I'm at that weird dating age. I'm old enough to date a dad or date his son.
Who's older.
You go, girl. Go,
Yeah.
Crystal.
Just date both.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in today's world, you could date both. You could be a throuple.
With a dad and a son? That'd be odd.
People are very progressive now. Very progressive and very,
not us.
People, not us. We're very traditional and old-fashioned in our perception. But other people, the modern children.
Uh-oh. We're losing Gabe. Okay, well, he comes back. I think we lost him.
Well, we could just say, let's just say your camera went off, but your audio probably stayed on.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know this. I've never had so many problems with this program, but yeah, something's going on with it.
That frozen moment felt like Gabe's house was being raided.
I know. All of a sudden it goes black and then comes back with his hands up.
But are there, for instance, we were what, in the 90s? We were in our 20s? Yeah.
I graduated with my bachelor's degree in 93, and I was 26.
So is there anything from the 90s that you would bring back to your life now?
Not a lot, because I was engaged to be married to a woman. I was in a fraternity, and I was basically in complete denial about who I am. So no, I wouldn't bring back the 90s in my world for all the teenage
Just calculating, what year were you born, Gabe?
1978.
You were 1978?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 1978. Yep.
Oh,
so you were a teen, basically.
Yeah, in the 90s.
You were a teen in the 90s. God, that's so hard.
Sorry, I just switched back to my laptop camera. That whole thing was screwed up. Now I got my earbuds in. Now I can hear you better, and this should go a lot smoother now. Even though I'm not as pretty because I'm all grainy.
Nothing gained, nothing lost.
Aye.
Oh wait, I brought a second one for you.
Mr. Glenn says, I had a 27-year-old guy ask me out, and I was like, I could be your mom. Then I saw a pic of his 54-year-old dad, and I was like,
and that's what he was hoping for.
I could date his dad or him. Yeah. I should have asked for a double date. No, there's no kidding. There's always a bit of truth. But
in every joke.
I dated a dad and met his son.
See, and Daniel's all like puritanical. Oh my God, no one would ever do that.
I never said I was
son.
I never said I was pure. I never went out them together.
You sure you don't have your habit? You're hiding your habit behind
I have my rosary.
your rosary in your
I have
habit?
my rosary. But so is there anything from the 90s that you would bring back, Gabe?
Because like Gabe is barely Gen X. You are 1965 to 1980, so you were born 2 years before it switched to millennials. You were almost a millennial.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love
but
it.
I'm Gen X.
Yeah, you are Gen X, no, definitely.
So is there anything that you or the audience
I-
would bring back
Otherwise, you'd be whining right now.
from the 90s?
You're hurting my feelings. I feel yucky. Just
Everything
Really?
from the '90s is better than anything today,
Aw.
except for some of the new alternative music. Some of the new alternative music is pretty good. Oliver Tree's pretty badass. Baby No Money's pretty badass, but there's some better music. There's some better music out there, but for the most part, no, the '90s, because we had it's one of my jokes I have right now as I talk about how being a Gen Xer, it's cool because we were teenagers when the internet came to be, and now we're about 5 years away from fucking robots. So take that, greatest generation.
Oh, I'm all about cyberized. You know, give me my electronic brain, give me my electronic body, transfer my consciousness into a synthetic body. I'm gonna live forever, MFs. You ain't never gonna get rid of me. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna watch us when we finally break light speed, when we finally get off this planet and get out of the solar system.
I'm thinking about the 90s.
Stop thinking in little world.
Because I was on drugs and alcohol all through the 90s. So
I was too.
I'm trying to think, but
Yet I still wouldn't bring it back.
But there's a couple of things because as I'm trying to do the outline for my memoir, I'm going back and digging
This is your.
As I'm
You're on the outline for your memoirs.
I'm writing, making notes.
Wait. We have to put our finger up.
I'm making notes on my memoir. I'm taking notes and going back and thinking about things. And
It is interesting to do.
The thing that I would bring back from my life in the 90s was some of the jobs that I had. I don't think I actually appreciated the moment or
I had some. I was working some pretty
what
amazing.
I
I was doing amazing work on the internet, like developing the internet, the capability to have high-speed internet in the home. I was on the cutting edge of that, working on technology that was just a dream 5 years before. So it's pretty cool.
because I was working at a pretty cool cushy.
Coochie.
Gucci.
I was working with
I
some
was working at
coochie.
Gucci. I was working at a really nice corporate job, and
That's what I was doing.
I could have gone pretty high, but I was getting high instead of going.
Yeah, imagine what you'd be. You'd have a 401k, a pension. I know things really.
Oh, I
things really
remember
worked
that.
out. Things really worked out for the better for you.
But
I remember those days when I had a 401k, a substantial 401k and everything,
But I would still be in Houston.
and was
probably.
vested.
I'd probably still be in Houston. Probably have a house, some partner, and not living my life the way that I do now, which is pretty amazing. So
Yeah, can you imagine if he said anything else?
It sounded like he was trying to convince himself through that whole line of
That's what I
thinking.
thought too. I'm like, look at that long pause is awfully nice. It's like, do I look pretty today? And you're just kind of like,
I love my life.
yes, honey, you look gorgeous today.
I really am enjoying it.
What happened to all of our commenters? There's no commenters. What's going
I know,
on?
so they got quiet after
I know,
Crystal's birth. They got really
I
quiet.
think we took them back to the 90s and we left them there. Please come back.
Yeah, they're all either too old or too young to. They're like the '90s, or I don't know. I'm too young.
I know.
There you go. Here's Ross.
Let's talk about more dead people.
You fit in really well here in Regina, Daniel, with your.
You're coochie. I love the word coochie. Can I just say that? It's like one of my favorite words right now.
I can't tell you all my favorite words. Daniel gets mad at me.
Well, so many people are using like the word coochie all over the internet because it's like it seems like it's the new polite way to mention your female nether region, rather than what I just said.
You're too old to remember the 90s or to go back?
Oh, she's gonna kill you one of these days when she comes out. You have to remember the 90s.
Dude,
God.
who was there was that one old entertainer. She was Latin too. The one who went coochie coochie. What was her name?
Charo.
Charo.
Sing about her coochie.
Coochie coochie.
My dad loved her. He loved watching her. And I can't imagine why. Short skirts, big booty, hourglass body. Yeah.
I'm still trying to think what to bring back from the 90s, and the only thing I could think of was
creamy
cucumber
salad
salad
dressing.
dressing.
Yum.
Ooh, Crystal, you're making us hungry.
Sounds dirty.
Yeah, I remember the 90s.
I remember the 90s.
Well, I lived with my sister for several years in the 90s. Yeah. So
that poor
this
woman.
is going sideways really fast. Oh, isn't it? Yes. And I knew this when Gabe.
Now, is that the thing? Do they not make creamy cucumber salad dressing anymore?
Of course they do.
Oh, I'm sure it's somewhere. I hope. Because I've had it. I know what you're talking about. I used to love it.
The old CCSD.
And you know what? Honestly, I'll say food in the 90s, even fast food, was significantly higher quality than we have today. So that's something that was better. Food was more honest back then than it is today.
Although in the early 2000s, we did have the double down from KFC.
Oh, yeah. I watched.
Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That was the 2 fried chicken breasts, and the toppings were on the inside of those. It was like 980 calories, so they got rid of it because people whined about it, and it was the best thing on earth.
And today people would go nuts for it because everyone's on keto. Like that is the perfect keto fast food sandwich.
But they brought it back. They had that. What did they try? They tried that glazed donut as the buns.
Oh, dear Lord!
I tried that. You know how hard it is to eat in a friggin' car.
Yeah.
I had glazed donut all over my chest, which didn't look like you know what glazed donut looks like. Yeah. So if I got pulled over, I had some explaining to do.
Okay, so I found creamy cucumber
at Amazon.
Yes, the craft version, you can get it for the low price of $12.75 a bottle.
And that's not that's before
it's eBay. It's on eBay.
Oh, it's on eBay.
But
oh my Lord, you have to go to eBay to buy this stuff.
But the Hidden Valley Ranch version, you can get it for $6, which is incredible. But you can get enough. You can get other versions of it.
That's like crazy, Crystal.
But you know where it's actually, let's talk to Ross, because most of these are from Canadian stores.
Yeah.
So you can find it in Canada, you just can't find it in the States.
And that's so weird to me. How does something like that just disappear in America? Like, why?
Yeah.
Well, back in the 90s, there was a pop that I used to work at a bar, and it was called Dr. Slice. So it's Dr. Pepper and orange slice mixed.
Ooh, that's
and you can't get it anywhere here. It's up in, I don't know if it's still up in Canada. But the last time I looked, it was up in Canada. We just go through. We have these weird fads of things. Like when I was in Iceland, they have Pringles has a paprika flavor, and it is amazing.
Ooh, I bet that's good.
It's amazing, and you can't get it here. It does not exist in the United States, and it's like, why doesn't it exist in the United States? It doesn't make any sense to me.
That's interesting. Before I said what I was telling me, the 80s is what I would bring back. So much of back the 90s.
Oh my good Lord! Have you ever listened to the music from the 80s? Come on.
Everybody has.
What are we talking about here? The 80s was the worst era. They had freaking. They had freaking disco. They had hair band. I mean, come on. The 80s. Ugh.
80s.
They had no good. They had no good rock because hair rock took over. They had no good. At least the 90s, we had grunge. We had real rock. We had a little bit of the hair rock. We had the wuss rock. We had all that stuff. We had hip hop. We had gangster rap. You can't be. 90s was the most trend, and I don't say this with the least bit of. 90s really did have the most changes in music of any generation ever, and you can't. There's so many new things that happened.
And I think our younger Gen Xers like yourself grew a greater appreciation and an awareness of music in general, like how it impacts your life, what that music is the expression of feeling.
All right.
Manifestation.
I like this Ross guy.
Yeah.
I like this Ross guy.
But
Ross is awesome. Ross is awesome.
we were watching.
Ross, you gotta look for Dr. Slice. I'm just dying to know if it exists up there anymore. Like in a store.
Oh, it's so good too. It was my favorite thing.
I like Slice. I like Orange Slice. That was one of my favorite drinks when I was a kid. And then
I mean, you can mix it yourself, but I don't know how you get the ratio. You know what I mean? It's one of those.
Yeah.
You know, we watched those music documentaries on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
And most, I mean, the 80s really brought this surge of music, and then the 90s had diversity. Even, I mean, from Spanish music to country and everything in between. It was so good. And
that's when the crossover started too.
And then the 2000s, it kind of and now even country music now, I'm kind of like, it just sounds so generic. It's so basic.
Well, because it's all just pop. It's all just pop music for the most part right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's one rock band, maybe two, and then everything else is pop. And then you've got your cooler alternative, which is still more, it's more of your. There's a lot of bass and a lot of.
Yeah. And I could say I'm sorry, you froze, buddy.
But yeah, while he comes back, I'll read some of these messages. The music was pretty good in the 90s, yes. Yes, please check to see if we can get it.
Dying to know.
And then Ross is going to be our hookup. For all the Canadian food. We have delivery, but I don't think my delivery food is here yet. We're supposed to get groceries, but I don't think they're here yet. Nope, not here yet.
I think it was just a car, but
I'm gonna move on for a bit. So while he comes back unfrozen, a lot of my in the car, our XM music. It's 80s and 90s. That's what I mostly go to listen to. Yeah, he left us. Gabe was having issues with his internet, so not internet, his program.
Okay, well, he went to his laptop.
So maybe he'll come back in a minute.
I'm sure he will.
Because music these days
it's regulated and it's
regurgitated music.
I love autotune exists. Like I get it. There's people who rely on it. A lot of artists who rely on it. But it's like the introduction of autotune just kind of I think brought everything down. Because then you don't really have to be a great singer to be viewed as a great singer and perceived as a great singer, and that bugs me.
While spelling your name. Gotcha. Ross just sent me. Gabe just sent me a text. He's resetting his modem.
He'll be back
to come back for the pick of the week. So he'll be back for the pick of the week. But even in Mexico, for people who watches Latinos, like everything from music in the 90s was like kick-ass. TV, there was all these Spanish Mexican sitcoms. There was a lot of novelas that really took off in the 90s. So I think as far as television, music, entertainment in general, I think I think even clothes in the 90s took a little
thank God they calmed down a bit from the 80s. The 80s got pretty extreme.
I still have a Western shirt that I bought in 1995 or 96 in McAllen, and it's a different color patch shirt. It was very George Strait and Garth Brooks used those type of shirts. But I have one. I should wear it one day just to show it. It's still, I think I had it dry cleaned like 10 years ago, and it's still in my closet in the plastic wrapper. From that.
No, I'm coughing.
What are you coughing?
I have no idea.
What's choking your throat?
Bugging me. Something's just bugging me.
What do you say?
I
find you guys some really unique foods. That would be cool. So the next time that you come over and
Western
co-host
from McAllen. Hey, deal.
Western from McAllen. Yeah, I bought it. I forget what is it Cavender's that's down there? I bought it off the freeway. I went into the store and bought the show. We were going to.
You bought it. You got off the freeway.
I bought it in McAllen. At the store, and we were going across the border to the big rodeo out there, and for a night out, and that's why I bought the shirt. Claro, con boots and jeans, of course. Starch, Wrangler jeans, starch with the line down the middle in the 90s. The black boots just really shined.
Sounds super gay.
It was. Most Western outfits are pretty gay. I like a really well put together macho cowboy has to look a little gay because it's so proper and pinned. Beautiful.
You know what they say, if you're going to be gay, be super gay.
That's the name of the store. Yeah, I went to Cavender's, but I can't remember the name of the shirt. I'm going to find the shirt. I'm not going to find it. It's in my closet. I'm going to pull it out and show it to you on next show when I'm at home.
Wait, there's still stuff in your closet? I thought everything was out of there by now.
Oh, no, it is full. There's so many skeletons in this closet.
So wrong, Gabe. I guess with that, now that he's back, do you want to go and do your...
Oh, sure. You ready?
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to put Gabe out for a minute. And
Alrighty, my pick of the week is the silent C as in ocean.
Oh.
Not the silent seed, because seeds don't talk or make noise, typically. It's a South Korean suspenseful sci-fi movie. It's about the South Koreans have built a lunar base. It's in the future, in a dystopic future, where the Earth has run through all of its water, even the oceans have dried up, and children are being born all weird and unhealthy because there's no water, no clean water, and water's being rationed, and they find water on the moon. But the water on the moon is not quite water like on Earth. So there's a whole crazy science-y sci-fi mess that happens when they send a crew up, because they suddenly lose communication with the base. And when they get up there, of course, everyone's gone, everyone's dead. And they all died really weird. Like, they all look really strange for being in a dry station. So it's kind of like just a story of what this crew that's up there for just 24 hours, how all the craziness that happens. And it's very suspenseful. It stars someone we might recognize, Bae Doona, Bae, B-A-E. I assume it's Bae or Bae Doona. And she was in the Cloud Atlas as the Korean clone that was serving food in a restaurant and defied the restaurant owner. Cool.
Is that the one you were watching yesterday when I got here?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good.
I would have described that a whole different way based on what he named that thing.
I never mind.
I'll tell you when we're not live. My pick is MacGruber on Peacock. And if you've seen the movie, which if you haven't, go watch the movie, because it's based on Will Forte's SNL character, which it was one of those things where it was an awful skit on SNL, but turned into a fantastic movie. And now they made a series on Peacock, and it holds up. That last episode had me rolling. And there is, I won't say who his father is, but it's played by a character you don't normally see in that kind of role, and he just kills it, and it was absolutely hilarious. So MacGruber, either the movie, which you can find on all sorts of places, or the series on Peacock.
Sweet. And my pick of the week is He's All That. And if you remember the movie She's All That, this is basically the 2022 version of that. But instead of a girl, it's a guy. And the really cool thing is that Rachel Leigh Cook plays the mom in this, so it's kind of like the next generation. I know it's kind of corny, but speaking of the 90s, if you liked the 90s corny movies of coming of age, then this is just one of those. And I just watched it like Saturday or Sunday and just kind of played it. But halfway through it, I was playing it while I was working, and halfway through I actually stopped to watch it. It's very 90s. It's very predictable, so you're not like discovering anything new. But if you want a little nostalgia with a new twist to it, hello, Tommy. If you want nostalgia with a little twist to it, go check it out. It's really cute. So I like it. So Tommy's on a
rampage today.
I'm going to put that on the list of movies I'm never going to see.
Shut up.
That's probably me too.
One day you'll be like bedridden.
No, Boots and Jeans is the name of the show.
I never saw She's All That either. Is that the one where she takes off her glasses and lets down her hair and turns out she was beautiful the whole time?
Yes, that's the She's All That. Yes,
that's every movie from the 90s.
I know, just like all the high school movies.
Oh
yeah. See, Crystal's got. I remember I was working at a gas station when it first got over $1. That was a huge deal. I remember that. It was 99 cents. We didn't even have on the sign. There was no third digit.
Wow.
So we had to get rid of the dollar sign, or the point, whatever. Yeah. We had to get rid of that because we had no room for $1 because no one ever anticipated getting to $1.
I do remember that I lived when 1990 hit. I was about to turn 20, and I wasn't allowed to go. I was not allowed to go into the bars, and we lived about 30 minutes from the bars. So I would sneak. I don't know what I told my parents. I can't remember what I told my parents where I was going.
I'm going to the library to study.
Probably. And
to hang out with a bunch of Catholic schoolgirls.
I would put $5 of gas to go and come back, and that was more than enough.
Oh yeah, I used to fill my tank with change all the time.
86 cents? Yeah, 86 cents.
And Ross is even one less.
I remember gas. Well, you're in Canada, Ross.
Wow, Ross doesn't look that old.
I remember when gas was a nickel.
I bet you do. You remember gas? You remember when gas was horses?
Yeah, I remember when gas was just what came out the back of the horse.
I remember when gas was 99 cents too. I was just telling my kids about that. Yeah. I mean, I think most of the people that watch this show, we're of that group of people that remember. Like,
well, and I grew up in the country.
People in my car, and everybody pitching in $2 of gas, so we could go to Fort Worth to the bars, and that would give us like $10 worth of gas to go back to Fort Worth. Yeah.
And I grew up on the country where we had party lines for telephones too. You picked it up, and it was your neighbors down the road.
Oh,
in the farmland. So yeah.
That's
You're 51. Yeah, oh, that's right. You're Christian's age.
No, he's younger than me.
Everybody's younger than you, Christian.
He's in between us. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently I am the senior citizen of the group.
You're the Highlander. There can be only one.
There's only one. There can only be one.
Which is crazy because, like, we used to go roller skating, and my sister's on the thread.
That dates us too.
Yeah, but this was in the 70s.
Yeah, I remember that. I went when I was a kid, when I was in grammar school.
But it's funny because I think about, like, it's not that, now that we're in our 50s, like, it's not that much time between the times, but like how different 10 years, 15 years makes in recognizing, like, from the time that I was just a passenger in a car to when I started driving and had to put gas in the car, and you start to realize, like, and oh shoot, like,
and repair it.
It takes money to drive this car
and take care of it. It was so much better when I didn't.
I never did the party lines.
Basically, that's why I like renting a car. It reminds me of when I was a kid and I didn't have to give a rat's back and what happened to it. I could drive into a wall and be like, oh, okay, get me another one.
Yes, we're just talking about going Saturday night. We used to go on Sunday nights.
We had a place. Yeah.
I'm significantly younger than both of you, significantly younger. But I still did some up in St. Cloud. We did some roller skating because it was a place to hang out. Kids still had it because again, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have any of that stuff. So you didn't know. You just went, like, we used to go cruise in our cars. That's how you met other people. You go drive around. You go to a parking lot. We had CB radios in our cars, all that crap. So we could, that's what we had. That was our cell phone, was CBs. We could talk to each other. Mainly, it was just a bunch of dudes. It was a big sausage party. I mean, for you guys, that would have been great. But yeah, for me, it was a bit of a bummer.
That is funny.
We used to do the park in Dallas. There was a park that we all hung out at. Toys R Us. Toys R Us is back. Toys R Us is back, by the way.
What? Why would Toys R Us be back?
They just opened a new Toys R Us. It's back. So
is it Jeffrey the Giraffe still?
Jeffrey the Giraffe is back.
Yeah.
I remember pagers. My company gave me a pager.
I have several pictures of me in the 90s with my pager in front, like it was a sign of power.
It was a sign of like having money.
Such as a person, yeah.
It was a sign you were a drug dealer.
Well, I was a drug dealer too. So.
Yeah,
So
doesn't
there's
surprise
that.
me.
Yes, roller rink music, and they're making a comeback because if you go on TikTok, there are several videos of people at roller rinks. There's one here in
Orange County.
Orange County. Yeah, at the.
I don't know of any in LA County. Yeah.
You know, else from the '90s. Meth was
Go on,
crank.
Sorry?
In the
Crank?
'90s. Meth was crank.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is
And
that
mainly bikers did. I only knew one person in high school who did crank.
Oh wow.
Yep.
It
Was not. It's not like, and it was nothing like meth is today. But yeah, but biker. It was called biker crank. That was
Okay.
that was bikers and truckers did it. And then and then now it's meth. But yeah, meth is way worse, obviously. But
Yeah. Well, it's gotten worse and worse.
From where I'm sitting, the thing on your cap looks like a little tiara that you're wearing. I was like, is he wearing a
He
tiara?
thought you were wearing a tiara.
it says Totes My Goats. You ever seen I Love You Man? The movie I Love You Man.
Oh, I know Totes My Goats well.
But from the angle where you were, it looks like the peaks on.
Yeah, I get it.
In Daniel's
Get it.
eyesight,
Pretty princess.
Daniel, we get it. You're gay. We understand. It's okay. You don't have to keep proving it every day.
Yay!
And if it's I'm a pretty princess. That's how you have to say it.
I am.
There you go. You have other fans of the movie.
Oh yeah, I Love You Man is one of my absolute favorite. My nephew, his says Jobin because when we had our fake band called Two Man Foo.
Oh, okay. I like
And,
that.
and we made parody songs, and yeah, his hat says Jobin because if you remember, he called him Jobin when they're at the coming out of the their first real date. And he goes because he called him Pistol Pete. He's like, I watched that. I literally just watched that movie 2 days ago, and I probably seen it 150 times. And then he just at one point says Totes My Goats when he's on the phone, and he's like, what did I just say? I just loved it so much, so I'm Totes My Goats, and my nephew's Jobin.
Nice.
I remember when Totes My Goats came out. Daniel drove Daniel crazy with it.
Oh
my God, Totes My Goats.
What are some classic '90s movies that you remember?
Oh man, that's the thing is I'm so bad with knowing when movies came out.
I am too.
Isn't Silence of the Lambs '90s?
Mallrats was my all-time favorite comedy until Clerks 2. Clerks 2 is now my all-time favorite comedy, but at the time Mallrats came out, I think it was probably 94, 95. Let's see, no, I would have been a senior, so it would have been 95.
Oh,
yes, Crystal.
You know what I loved in Mallrats was I was just had such a crush on the Landon twins.
Well, and it took place for me. It was big because it took place in Minnesota at the mall.
Oh, okay.
It was a mall, and they couldn't get it. They were trying to do Mallrats 2, which they just filmed. They were trying to do it there again, but they couldn't. They could because Minnesota's
Does malls
too
even exist anymore?
What's that?
So many malls have closed down since the 90s, and
that one did. That one still exists, but yeah, it's those are. I forget which mall it was now. It's a smaller town, but yeah, it was their mall, and so that was we had this connection because Minnesota. If you're from Minnesota, if someone's been there for 5 seconds, you claim them. Like Stifler. Stifler went to school in Minnesota for a minute, so now he's from Minnesota, and all these other.
Sean William Scott.
Oh yeah, Spice Girls. Hell yeah.
Okay, now I definitely will say one of my all-time favorite movies that I could watch over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I watch the star of this movie's TikTok over and over and over and over and over again is Clueless with Alicia Silverstone.
Oh my God, she's nuts.
You know what though? Have you seen her though?
She baby birds her children. She's nuts.
What's baby birds?
She chewed up their food and spit in their mouth.
Baby birds. She may be cuckoo, but she looked damn good for being cuckoo.
Of course they do.
Even I would.
That's how it works. The hotter you are, the crazier you get, and the more we put up with. That's how that works.
I just realized that Pretty Woman came out in 1990. That's one of my favorite movies.
Of course it is.
Of course he likes movies about war.
It's about a hooker. It's about a hooker. It's about a hooker.
Don't judge her.
Who's way too good looking to be a hooker. She wasn't on any drugs, which didn't make any sense. Who becomes a hooker who isn't on drugs?
Boys in the Hoods came out in 91.
Boys in the Hoods, he just said.
Yep.
No, it's Boys in the Hood.
That's what I said.
Boys in the Hood.
You said Boys in Hoods.
Boys in the Hood.
Don't drink. Yeah, and so did Menace to Society.
Yes.
South
Titanic
Central.
came out in 97.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
So in the 90s also had Don't Be a Menace to Society while drinking your juice in the hood,
Uh-huh.
which is a parody of all of
G.
those movies.
And that was, wow.
The Sandlot. If anybody does not remember the
I
Sandlot.
remember the Sandlot. I liked it.
See, that was one I somehow I missed that one.
It's worth a watch. But it's very nostalgic. And it's nostalgic to an.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
That's funny.
Which part, Ross? You got to help me out, man. I don't know when was I losing it?
Fargo, Saving Private Ryan, The Big Lebowski.
No, I hated The Big Lebowski.
Fight Club, American
Fight Club
Beauty,
was-
Seven, Forrest Gump, classic. Pretty Woman, yes.
What's
thank
in the
you.
box? What's in the
That's what it
box?
What's in the box? Oh, that's such a good ending.
I know, 90s flick.
Or good ending to that scene. What's in the
Yeah,
box?
90s are good.
Yeah, I saw Save It Private Ryan right before going to boot camp.
In Living Color.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Oh, that would have been a tough one to watch right before boot camp.
In Living Color. But you know what? In Living Color and Mad TV in the 90s.
Mad TV kicks SNL's butt any day of the week. SNL is dreadful. It's never been good. I don't care. You'll never convince me otherwise. It's a terrible, terrible sketch show.
Oh.
Mad TV was amazing. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. You had Stewart. You had all those characters. Will Sasso was better than any of the fat guys on SNL except for Chris Farley.
American Beauty.
I love Chris Farley.
Yeah, they just
Empire Records was out in 95.
Oh. I like
Which
that
one?
movie.
Empire
Empire Records.
Empire. Oh, I love Empire Records.
Kind of
Great
what
movie.
set, put
Liv Tyler.
yeah, Liv Tyler. I was gonna say the singer's daughter's put her in the limelight.
Free Willy was in 93.
Who cares?
Schindler's
Schindler's List.
Willie's in it. You're
I've
watching
only
it.
seen it once because I just could not get through it.
You just saw the name and thought it meant something else.
Yeah, as I said, anything with Willie's, he's on board.
Well, I can't wait to see Free Willy.
That TV was awesome.
Matt TV was so, and I love Will
Ah,
Sasso.
Miss Swan.
I look like a man.
I love Miss Swan, even though, of course, people have seen those skits today and are like, "Oh my God, it's so offensive! It's so culturally appropriate."
Yeah, but
They're lip syncing them on
part
TikTok
Asian?
right now.
And I'm just always like, you all need to shut up. This is from the past. It's not the present,
Stewart on that TV,
and you just need to accept it. Yeah, Stewart was fantastic, and his mom.
Groundhog Day on in 93. That was a good movie. I like-
Well, I just don't like the
Show
star
me
of it.
the money. I mean, no, Jersey Murder. 96.
Yeah, Will Sasso's hilarious.
Well, you know, I
I liked Will Sasso on Mom too.
they're coming up with some pretty good episodes lately of SNL. It's
No, they are not.
yes, they
You're
are.
lying. You're lying to yourself. They
No,
just said
it's a
something you
good
like
one.
politically, and that's what you're going with. They're terrible.
I
They're
like
terrible. They sang goodbye, Mr. President, when Obama got out of office. I mean, come on. That's not what a comedy show does. They're terrible. They're nothing but hacks.
I like
They're
them.
hacks.
I don't care what you
They're
think.
hacks. They've never been funny. They don't even, the guy in office right now is a kid sniffing senile old man. They don't even make fun of him. What are you talking about? They're hacks. You've got the perfect guy in office to make fun of.
They're funny. I like them.
It's Ghislaine Maxwell. They had a huge pedophile thing going on, and nobody says anything about it, including a comedy show. I mean, come on. They're missing.
Yeah.
They're terrible. SNL's
We don't
terrible.
talk about pedophiles, but yes, okay.
SNL's terrible.
Well, I like them, but not talking about the 90s. I think in the 90s when Mad TV and In Living Color were out, they definitely give SNL a run for their money.
Yeah, there's some really funny In Living Color skits too.
Oh yeah, let me show you something. That's gave us Jim Carrey.
Oh, I guess I love
that's the
Venus.
girl that gets
I
down,
love
but-
Venus DeMilo. I'm a delicate little flower.
I agree with Crystal. They 6. I know she meant stinks, but it still says
Yeah.
6.
I like SNL and I enjoy
Of
it.
course you do.
What?
Of course you do, you little diva.
I am, and I own it. Anyway, we're coming down to the end, which is the perfect moment to end this conversation with you.
Should be the Christian and Diva show.
I know, right?
In Living Color,
I'm
that's-
Christian.
That's the diva.
That's
Alec Baldwin and Melissa McCarthy during the Trump administration was called. Oh yeah. There's some really good
Well,
stuff.
I liked it when I liked the character that Tina Fey when she was doing that female Alaska
Sarah
crazy
Palin,
lady.
Sarah Palin.
Yeah, but Alec Baldwin is irresponsible and he murdered a woman, so
Oh my
Oh
God!
my God,
Okay,
that's so
with
true,
that in mind,
Unfortunately, yes.
With that in mind, we're coming down to the show. Thank you, Gabe, for being our first guest of the year.
Yes, always. We love you too. We just adore you.
Thank you. I love you guys.
And totally, someday we'll be able to see everyone again and fly out and go places.
So at some point, when people here in SoCal will be able to come and sit with us here live and be on the show. For now, we want to remind you that we are back with the shows for the week, just so you can see them. We've got the Little Metro Productions Inc. Check them out. Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays with the Christian and Daniel show. The Cardivo is back this Friday, so make sure you check us out. And this season, put it together, we only have one episode on Saturday, so we're back to just noon. And we're going to start this Saturday with a very special episode with two of my dearest friends, Berkeley and Wayne, and Christian's going to be on the show. We're going to doing a little bit of talking about intuitive work, what we have in mind, or what we intuitively think about the new year coming. And if you want more information, check us out, hashtag and our website. Go check those out.
Did you contact Christian's agent and manager about what his pay is going to be for that show?
Yes, we've already got your bit. We got your check on the way.
You can promote my my TikTok.
I didn't know. So Daniel.
Oh shoot, we didn't talk about you before that to put it up. We'll put it up next week. You'll be
Oh, I can. The name is The Blazing Shit.
Well,
wait, the blazing what?
The Blazing Shit.
SHIT?
SHIT. It's a whole thing. Well, next time you have me on, you can ask me about the origin story for The Blazing Shit. You'll love it. It's good.
Oh my gosh, that's my chowder.
That's my chowder.
But for now, we want to thank Gabe for joining us. Thank y'all for joining us in the comments. We love having you here. If you're watching us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, please share this video with your friends so they can check it out too. If you're watching us on YouTube, do us a favor, scroll down, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. It'll let you know every time there's a new show on the channel. For now, we want to thank Gabe and we want to thank you for joining us. And we will see you.
How do people do that?
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.